Happy Friday, ladies. We finally made it to the weekend and I'm so happy because it's been kind of a crazy, stressful week. A lot of things going on this week. We started homeschooling Monday with my girls, and to say it is stressful is an understatement. I think as the week is going though, we're kind of getting the hang of it. It's getting a little easier. My darling just brought me coffee, so I'm so happy. Thank you, Robbie. I love you. I thought I would jump on today. It's a little crisp outside. I'm actually freezing in the house, but I have all the windows open. It's nice to get some fresh air and not have the air running. And that crisp air makes me always want something cozy and comforting. So today I decided I'm gonna make one of Robbie's favorite soups, and it's the beef barley soup. And it's super easy to throw together. It needs to cook a little bit to let the meat get tender, but easy to make. So I'm gonna show you really quick how we're gonna throw it together. Let me just have a sip of this right here because it makes my day every day. Oh my God, it's so good. Okay, so what you're going to need, okay, for this recipe is about a pound to a pound and a half of stewing beef. This is my stewing beef here in the colander. I'm kind of weird, I rinse it, I don't know why, but pound to a pound and a half of stewing beef, a whole white onion chopped, 2 stalks of celery chopped up. I have a carrot chopped up into small, like bite-sized pieces, 3 cloves of garlic chopped. I have parsley here, which I'll chop. It's about a tablespoon of parsley. You're gonna need some beef stock for the soup. You're gonna need some water. I'll give you all the measurements. You're also going to need 3/4 of a cup of barley. And you're going to need some oregano, salt and pepper, and some flour, okay? And a little bit of cooking oil. So where did I put my vegetable oil? Okay, see, I'm like all over the place because my mind is in 17 different places of things I need to be doing. And I really don't have time to stop and make a video, but I really love to share with you guys when I make something because I know as a mother, and I know that thinking every day as a wife and a mother, what in the hell am I gonna make today? I mean, I know that chaos that goes on in your brain while you're trying to do 17 million other things that you're responsible for. So I like to come on and kind of give you ideas and maybe share recipes I found that I love. And this is a great, quick, easy meal, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of vegetable oil in the bottom of a Dutch oven, maybe about 2 tablespoons of oil. This is a really nice heavy pot. It's a cast iron pot. It can go inside the oven if you need it to. It's amazing. You should always have one of these in your kitchen. I'm gonna take a Ziploc bag, okay? And I'm gonna put the beef inside. I'm wondering if I can just dump it in here. In this, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to do it, and I'm gonna get it all over, so let me do it this way. I'm gonna take this beef and I'm gonna put it inside the Ziploc bag, and then I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of flour, all-purpose flour, to it, and we're gonna shake the stewing beef around. I'm sorry, you guys, I just can't touch it. I just can't do it. I gotta have gloves, and I don't have any, so I'm about to go out to the store here shortly. All right, I'm gonna throw these all in here. Yeah, I have about a pound and a half, which is, you know, a good amount of beef. All right, we'll leave the rest of it in there. Okay, so I'm gonna put the stewing beef in this bag right here. And then I'm going to measure about a 1/2 cup of flour. Okay, like about a 1/2 cup of white flour. And I'm just gonna dump it in here. You might need to add a little bit more, and if you do, it's okay, because you wanna make sure that you have enough flour in there. Now seal your bag up, okay, and shake it around. Shake the beef around in there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook this beef off in the pan. We're gonna make it all nice and brown. It's gonna get like a little bit of a crust to it almost, and you're gonna brown it, and then you're gonna put it on a plate while you start the rest of the soup. If that makes sense? Okay. I don't know, this is giving me like getting my aggression out. Okay, so shake that around. And it looks like it's pretty covered to me. I don't think I'm gonna add any more flour. Maybe just move it around a little bit. Good enough. My kids are actually in the other room doing their work online. They've had strict instructions not to interrupt me, but here comes one right now. Here she comes.
I'm gonna do gym.
Oh, are you gonna go do gym? It is kind of cool, you guys, because we can kind of be flexible. Other than the class connect times, they can kind of structure their day how they want. And actually, they get credit to go outside and play. It's like gym for them. So enjoy your gym, Ava.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm heating up the oil right now, and then we're gonna just take this beef, and we're gonna put it in the pan with the oil. I don't want to dump it all in there. You might have to do it in batches because you want that beef to have a little bit of room, okay, to cook. All right, put it in there. I'm gonna put about half of it in there, and then I'll do the other half, okay? So all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna brown off this beef, okay? I have it at a medium-high heat. I'm gonna get that beef all nice and brown. I'm gonna get a plate, put a piece of paper towel on it, and then once the beef browns, I'm gonna take it out, set it on that plate, and let it kind of set while I start the rest of the soup. So I'm gonna go brown off the beef right now, and then I'll come back and I'm gonna show you how to throw together the rest. It's super easy, you're gonna love it. Okay, so the beef is all done. I browned it. I said rounding. You know why I just said rounding? Because I'm trying to help Sophia with estimating and rounding numbers. So I just said rounding. Hello, you know where my brain's at? I'm trying to say I browned the stewing beef. So this is the stewing beef that I browned in the oil. I put it on a paper towel. I'm gonna set it down on the side for a minute. Now, I added about a tablespoon more of vegetable oil into that same pot. And the greatest thing right now about this pot is there's all these brown bits of flavor in the bottom of the pot from the beef and the flour mixing together. Now you're gonna saute up all your veggies, okay? So we're gonna add our onions and our carrots. It would be so much easier for me to lift this entire thing, but I don't wanna mess with that parsley right now. So I'm just gonna put everything in the pot, all the veggies, all the onion, the celery, the carrot. I'm gonna give them just a minute to start to cook, and then I'll add my garlic. So that was a whole carrot chopped small, 2 celery stalks of celery chopped, a whole onion chopped. I have 3 cloves of garlic, and they were like big chunks of garlic chopped up there. And then you just need enough parsley for a tablespoon, okay, worth of parsley. And I added a little bit of oil. Now see, as I'm cooking, all those brown bits from that beef are mixing in there, and it smells amazing. Ava is gonna have to have something different tonight. She likes making these protein bowls. Like Taco Bell has these protein bowls, but we make them at home with brown rice and black beans, and she makes them pretty good actually. So we're gonna start letting these cook just for a minute, and then I'm gonna add that garlic. But you're gonna wanna add in a whole thing of vegetable stock, an entire thing. This is a 32-ounce container, which is 4 cups of the beef stock. And then I'm gonna also add 3 cups of water to it. And I've measured out my 3/4 cup of barley right here. Okay, that's gonna go in there in a minute. And I just have it on like a medium-high heat until they start to become fragrant, until you can kind of smell that onion becoming fragrant. And now I'm gonna add in my garlic. Because if you add the garlic in right away, it'll burn and become bitter, and it's not gonna taste good. Okay, so you don't want to add it right away. And I'm just going to start to saute that until I can start to smell the garlic. And you know me, I love garlic. The smell of it is so amazing. This is my kind of weather. Now we're talking. To hell with the 90 degrees. I'm liking the 60s, 70s. I love it. I think the perfect place for me to live would be San Diego. But it's like crazy expensive in San Diego. Sophie likes that idea too. Sophie's sitting right there doing her math.
Hello.
Okay, so now I can really smell the garlic, and we're gonna add 1 small 6-ounce can of tomato paste. 1 6-ounce can. And I know I drive everybody crazy when I spoon it out like this. I know somebody taught me the trick to take off the other thing and just push it through, but I'm being really lazy because I don't feel like messing with that can opener. I'd much rather make my life difficult and do it this way. So I'm going to add this whole can. And this tomato paste, not only is it going to add the nice, like, deep color to your soup, but it's going to thicken the soup. It's going to be what's going to help to thicken it a little bit. And you don't want to add too much barley because then it's not going to be a soup. It's going to be a stew, right? Because it'll be so thick that it won't have any liquid to it. And you don't want that either. All right, so now I just added that whole can. By the way, if you use a cast iron pot like this, a Dutch oven like this, they get really hot. So be careful when you go to touch the handles of the pots. So I'm just going to mix the tomato paste in with the veggies. It already smells amazing. You like the smell, so? Yeah, it already smells good. Can't wait to eat this later with like some crusty bread. And I also been busy overing. I have dough ready for lahmacun. I'm gonna make some of those later because we have no more in the freezer and my kids love them. I'm gonna make some vegetarian ones for Ava too. All right, so you're just gonna mix that in until that tomato paste is nice and mixed in there. And now we're gonna add our beef stock. The whole thing you're gonna add. And you're also going to add 3 cups of water too. If while you're cooking it, you find that it's getting too thick, you can always add a little bit more beef stock or a little bit more water to it. It will be fine.
3 cups of water?
You want to do 3 cups of water? Go ahead. You want to take a little break and add 3 cups of water? So what you're going to do is this is a 2-cup thing. So you're going to fill it once and then you're going to fill it a second time to the 1 cup.
Warm water?
Nope, just regular cold water. So I just added the beef stock to it. And I'm keeping it over that medium heat. Your whole house, okay, that's 2 cups, honey. Okay, go ahead, dump the 2 cups in. Your whole house is gonna smell so good, right, when you do this. And now 1 more cup in. We are gonna add some pepper. Now, you can do it to taste. I never measure the spices like that, but I would say if you're going to measure, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Okay, so excuse me, Mama, so they can see. I'm going to add just about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Thank you, Sophie. I'm going to add about a teaspoon. I'll measure it. What the hell for you guys? I don't really like to, but I will. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. If you want to go a little bit lighter, you can make sure that your beef stock is like light sodium stock. I happen to like the one with the sodium in it, but you know, I know my healthy friends probably aren't happy with me for that. Now I don't have oregano. Normally I would just use oregano, but because I don't have any, I'm going to use just Italian seasoning. It'll be fine. Not a big deal. So cooking is about like figuring out a way, if you need to substitute, thinking of flavors that marry together and go together and just going with it. So we're gonna add a teaspoon of the Italian spices, and it'll be fine. And let's give it a good mix, guys. It already smells so good, and I think that's from that beef cooking off in the flour. All right, give them a good stir, let the flavor kind of get in there. And then what I like to do is I love to leave the lid cracked just the tiniest bit and leave it low and kind of just let it take all day to cook. Keep an eye on your liquid in there to make sure that it's not getting all absorbed. If you need to add more, go ahead, but keep it on like a low temperature and let it go all day. Oh, amazing, right? All right, so we added the spices. Now we're gonna add in our barley. 3/4 cup of the barley. Robbie loves beef barley soup, loves it. And now we can add back in our stewing beef into the pot. It's nice and brown, it's got that crust to it. I don't want to just dump it all in there, but just kind of glide it in there. There you go. And it absorbs all that liquid. Oh, there goes somebody's phone on the floor. Sorry. Okay. Put all the beef in. Get rid of that. And kind of just stir it in. You guys, that's it, really. Now I'm going to chop up the parsley and put it in there. And I'm going to let it go and cook low and slow until the beef is super, super tender and cooked through. All right, so let's chop up our parsley. I just rinsed it earlier and set it there to dry. I just roll it up and just kind of chop it roughly. I love fresh parsley. I love fresh spices. I would have used fresh oregano if I would have had it in my fridge. And you know what I do is sometimes you can freeze them. Like I have a thing of dill that I wrapped in paper towel, put it in a Ziploc and freeze it. Yesterday I made it to make tartar sauce for fish and it was perfectly fine. So I actually bought a basil plant and killed it recently and I was so upset because I like fresh basil too. All right, there we go. There goes my parsley, just a rough chop, doesn't have to be perfect. Right? Stir that in. Smells amazing, fantastic. Okay, and that's it. I'm gonna put the cover on. I'm gonna keep it cracked just a little bit. It's on a medium heat. Maybe start off with it like on a medium for maybe the first 25 minutes and then turn it a little bit lower and kind of just let it cook the rest of the day. So that's it. Beef barley soup. I'm gonna let it cook. I'll come back at the end and I'm gonna show you how delicious it looks and we'll try it together. Okay, I'll see you soon. All right, girls, well, it's been about 3 hours that soup has been cooking and I just came and made myself a bowl of it to give it a try. I took a couple tastes here and there and I'm gonna tell you, I did end up adding more water because I cooked it so long that it needed more liquid. So I just added a little bit of water as I went to my consistency that I liked it. So I like it a little on the thicker side, not too thick where it's a stew, but not so watery that I can't pick it up with a spoon. Do you know what I mean? So I added just a little bit more water, about maybe another cup as I went along. And I had to put another sweater on because I'm freezing in my house, but I love it. This is like totally my weather and this is the perfect meal for today. So let me just show you what it looks like. It looks gorgeous. And I put a little fresh parsley on it so that it looks kind of pretty, right? Because you eat with your eyes first. I mean, at least I do. And I'm ready to taste this. And you know what I'm gonna do? I always keep lemon cut up in my fridge. And I'm gonna just give it a squeeze of lemon. I know that sounds crazy, but it's gonna give it just the right amount of like acid to make it taste even better, right? Trust me, girls. Okay, here we go. I cannot wait to try it because the whole house smells amazing. And if you look over there, you can see I've been making lahmacun too. So the whole house is just like, this aroma is going on in my house and it smells so good. Here we go. Ready? I'm gonna give it a little stir since I put that lemon in. Here we go. It's so hot. It's fantastic. It's the perfect meal. The barley gives it that heartiness that it needs. The lemon brightens the flavors. The meat is melting. It's just melting and it's delicious. And I can't wait to sit and eat this entire bowl full with like a croissant or something, like dip it in there, or a piece of French bread. I have to have one more bite. I can't wait for Robbie to have this when he gets home. You guys, super easy, super delicious. Sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full, but it's so good. This is something that you could throw in the crock pot too. So in the morning, all you'd have to do is brown off the beef in the flour like I did in the beginning. Put that in your crock pot, dump everything else in, put it on like a low setting for 6 to 8 hours. And then when you come home from work or your husband comes home, everything's ready to go and you just enjoy it, right? Crock pots are the best thing. So anyhow, I just wanted to share this recipe with you. It's a really good recipe for a day like today when it's a little bit chilly and you want to be like cozy in your house. I hope you'll try it. I hope you really enjoy it. As always, thank you for supporting me in watching me make these videos because I just love cooking so much and I love sharing it with you guys. And it means a lot to me when you comment and you watch and you share my videos. So thank you very much, and I will I'm gonna go finish that and I will see you guys later, and I might sneak one of those too. Okay, I love you guys. Have a great weekend and I'll see you later.